Hello and welcome to Post Popcorn Picks, a podcast where we here at the Puyallup Post cover all the latest trends in media and movies. I'm Steven.
And I'm Braden, and today we're going to be talking about Happy Death Day to You, the sequel to Happy Death Day. This was released February 13th, so it's pretty new. I went and saw it last night, he saw it on the weekend, and overall I liked it a good amount.
It's a good movie. I mean, I think it can get a bit of a bad rap. I think there's a lot of things going against it. I think a lot of people can be like, oh, don't like the Groundhog Day gimmick. That's fair.
Yeah.
A lot of people can be like, oh, it's super campy and it's not trying enough to be horror. That's fair. A lot of other people might be like, I don't know any of these stars. Like, there's no star power to draw me to this film. All of those arguments are fair. However, I think if you set those aside and actually sit and attempt to enjoy the movie, you'll have a pretty good time.
Yeah, I went into it without any expectations. I wasn't sure what they were going to do. I was like, they can't just repeat, like, the same thing as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up changing the story format a lot. Like, it did not follow a movie format at all.
Yeah,
like,
no.
I was like, is it going to end with this cliffhanger? And then it'd keep going for another 30 minutes. And I was like, okay, how is this going to end? And it just kept going and going, even though there'd be like a climax, and then she'd die and restart the day or something, you know? And I was like, how is this going to work?
It's one of those movies that normally this bothers me in that the trailer set up a structure that the movie did not follow at all.
No.
The trailer made it feel like it was going to be a different kind of movie, and then you watch it and you're like, this isn't bad at all. And they did that thing, and I gotta knock it once for this. They did that thing that movies do that I hate, where they took a line that didn't even take part in that scene and injected it in another scene just for the trailer. And
which
that
part
drives me insane. I can't remember off the top of my head, but she says something that she doesn't even say in that scene. Because I remember sitting there watching it with Paige, and I was like, and then I hear the line, I'm like, that's not the scene this was in. Like, what is this? And like, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a scene with one of the killers that they painted out like someone's chasing someone else, when in reality that's not even the two people like at play in the actual film. It's really bothersome. I'm like, what are we doing here? You know?
Yeah, and to like go off of that, in the trailer they talk about how the killer is going after all of her friends now, but really it just goes after one, and then it changes completely, like back to.
I was waiting for that, where it was like, he's coming after all of us now, and I was like, yeah, because sure didn't seem like that.
No, and I was like, okay, that was a false lead, definitely, and that might have been what you were talking about, where she doesn't say that in the right scene.
That might have been.
Yeah, because I caught that too, and I was like, this is not what the trailer portrayed.
Sad. Lazy.
Yeah, definitely.
They could have. I think the movie was pretty decent enough that they didn't have to resort to such, you know.
Which, I mean, they always say like the trailer is the best parts of the movie, and to be honest, the trailer is not.
Yeah.
So I think that I don't know if it's gonna hurt them, because people are not like, wow, this trailer is amazing, let's go see this, or if it's gonna be a thing where they're like, oh, the trailer didn't look good, I'll go see it, and then they're like way more happy with it and share that thought, and then people go see it. I'm not sure how it's going to portray.
I think you're really right. I think that there's so many people that are turned on to a movie through the trailer.
Yeah.
And I think the trailers for this movie will not do that. But also, the trailers really do they collect the parts that are kind of dumb or campy.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay. The rest of the movie it's what's really good.
Yeah, I agree.
And the stars, I mean, a lot of these people, I mean, obviously can't speak for everyone, but up until having seen the first one, I didn't really know any of these people. I didn't know who Jessica Roth was, or Israel Brozard, or Faivu, or Suraj Sharma. I don't know any of these people or anything else.
I think the only one I recognize is Charles Atkins. I've seen his face.
Atkins?
He was the, I'm pretty sure that was him. He was the doctor.
Yeah.
And I've recognized his face off of something before, but not like a main, like I wouldn't know his name, I've just seen his face before. So yeah, there wasn't much main casting in this.
Paige was telling me she recognized Ruby Modine, who was Lori, the nurse, the roommate.
Oh, okay.
She said she recognized her for something, but also couldn't place her.
Yeah.
And I think not enough movies today do that. I think it's a weird thing that movies are expected to always drop us a Tom Cruise or a Will Smith, just so we can all be like, oh, I know that person. I think that regardless of how this film was received or films like this are received, this is how we get new stars. This is how new star power comes about. Because you can get like a really crappy film, not to say this was, but you can get a really crappy film together, but someone's performance in that film can create something.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, so quick, brief synopsis of the film. For those who hadn't seen the first one, it's kind of worth going over that too. So the main character, Tree, she what is Tree short for?
Tree.
Do they ever say?
Oh, they do in.
Did they say it in the first one?
I don't know if they say it in the first one, but in the second one, when she's walking up to her mom for her birthday,
right.
They say her full name there, and it's not
Katrina.
Yeah, it's not Teresa. It's like, it's something else.
Tree. Anyway, so we have an oak tree as the main character, and
much.
She's caught in a loop, Groundhog Day style, and she's constantly getting murdered on her birthday. She ends up breaking the loop, only to find out that the next day after, when this movie takes place, someone else is caught in a loop. And she has to help them through it, inadvertently getting herself trapped once again. And it's pretty interesting because the first one never really tries to explain itself, but in the sequel, it tries to take that route. And at first, I rolled my eyes at it. I was like, oh no, they're going to overcomplicate this.
Yeah.
But I think they did a pretty good job explaining it to the point where I didn't feel like I was getting hit over the head with a science textbook, but I also didn't feel like there wasn't enough explanation, and
They did it pretty quickly. So it wasn't like you were like, oh, let's just get this over with and start like into the second one. They did it pretty quickly,
right.
Which I thought was good.
Yeah.
It was like to the point and then boom, into the next one.
You don't want to waste a lot of time with stuff like that.
No,
I'm about to wrap our head over the multiverse theory. But yeah, so basically, it's so funny because I actually really enjoyed the first film. I didn't rate it for anything we did here. I don't believe I might have actually. I think I did. We might be worth going back and check. Yeah, I think in post popcorn picks.
Okay.
Damien and I reviewed it. Maybe. Might be worth looking into that. But if it is, we'll link it in the description below. I feel like we did though. But and I can't recall what I gave it, but I know I gave it about standard fare, maybe 3.5, maybe a 4, something like that.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it took chances, and up until I saw that film, I hadn't ever seen the Groundhog Day gimmick replicated.
Yeah.
After that, I saw it in a lot of places. Netflix alone released like 3 movies that did the Groundhog Day thing. They did the one with one of the Wayans brothers that he keeps waking up on his wedding day until he can get it right.
Oh.
And they released like 2 more within the same year. I was like, guys, I get it. Like, calm down. It was cool, and now it's less cool.
Yeah.
When I saw they were doing a sequel, I was like, wow, this is lazy. It's like they had extra scenes left on the cutting room floor. And they're like, we're just going to recycle it.
For our sequel video.
Yeah, you know, like they're just like, oh, here we go. But I think all things considered, it was pretty good. I had a pretty good ride with it. Even though we were essentially going through the same territory a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It was interesting because it was like we were getting it from different perspectives, and there were different takes on it, and it was kind of funny and familiar. It's like your favorite ice cream flavor, and then now you're dropping some condiments on it. It's not so bad.
Yeah, they changed it up enough.
Yeah.
What would you rate the second one?
Well, even though it was a pretty decent ride, and even though it went a long way to explaining things, it didn't have that fresh impact that the first one did. So we're gonna call it a 3 out of 5, and hope I was nicer than the first one.
Oh, okay. I give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah. I
thought it was decent. And then now they've confirmed that they're gonna make a trequel or a third movie.
A trequel?
That's what it says on the.
Is that a trequel?
Oh, trilogy. Just kidding.
I think you just got caught on her name.
I did. Yeah. Tree. But yeah, so I don't know what. I mean, without spoiling it, when you get to the ending, you'll realize that they could make a third one out of how they ended this. So I'd recommend go watching the movie so you make sense to you. But I don't know what route they'll take with it in the sense of they could do a lot with how they ended it. So
they could, but they can't do this again.
No.
That's the most important thing. Like, you can't. There's only so many times they can feed us the Groundhog Day gimmick with a slight alteration before we stop.
Yeah.
And stop getting interested. And if the third one comes around and they try that again, I'm gonna lose all interest. So whatever they're doing, they're gonna have to.
They better go into the multiverse.
Yeah, like again, without spoiling it too much, there's enough room for them to take it in a direction that they don't have to broach the same territory.
Yeah.
But we really won't know until we get a look at it.
So it'll definitely be interesting to see. I think that's pretty much it. You have any other thoughts on this movie?
I watched this and The Prodigy in the same night, and I liked this more. So do with that what you will. Jessica Roth I think she's really talented. I think she's really cool. I think hopefully we'll start to see her in more things. There's a certain, I don't know, genuine nature to her actions that I kind of enjoy. You get that from time to time. Jennifer Lawrence kind of has that going on.
Yeah.
You know, like I like that whole, like, it feels like they just plucked someone out and threw them on screen and were just like, just do things, and you know.
And they did it.
Yeah. So I just think it's important to remember that movies like this, without your Will Smiths and your Adam Sandlers and all these well-known names, I think this is how new stars are found, and I think it's important to support that.
Yeah.
In an effect.
And I mean, as we go through, I mean, not to like say actors are not becoming popular anymore, but if you look at some of the main actors, they might not be in as many movies, or they want younger casts and stuff.
Right.
So obviously we have to go through the cycle again of finding these mainstream or like actresses and actors. So I think it's a good way to start, at least.
I agree.
So if you enjoyed, hit that like and subscribe down below. You can follow us on social media at the Puyallup Post on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. We'll be updating frequently on there. You can check out the newest print. It's on shelves. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week. See you guys later.